Hey guys, today we're going to do some keto taco stuffed tomatoes. We'll start off with those. We've got some things already made here. This sauce right here is roasted poblano, roasted serrano peppers. There's lime juice in there and a few other spices. And then we also got a vinaigrette here that's frozen mango, lime juice, and a few spices in there, a little bit of olive oil. And for our spices, there's a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of salt, mayo pepper. There was also some ancho chili pepper in there, salt, cumin, coriander, garlic, onion powder. So we just mixed it all up just to make sure there was no clumps in there. And of course, we got cilantro. We're going to chop up some radishes, some lime juice and zest, some green onions, of course, sour cream. So first we're going to start off with cutting some corn off the cob here, because that goes pretty well in there. Make sure you do it over a bowl or even on a paper towel or a dish towel that's clean, so you can catch all the kernels. Otherwise they're going to be flying all over the house. Ask me how I know that. Just go ahead and just cut it down and get them all off there, and try not to get any of the core in there. Or your fingers. That wouldn't be good. So we're just trying some different things here that's keto friendly. We're gonna end up roasting this corn on the stove top just to get some good color on it and get it nice and roasted. I see it squirting all over. Break up your clumps in there too. In the meantime, I got a pan on the stove top that's getting a little warm. I have it on low just to get it warm. We're going to end up using a little bit of olive oil down first. Try to get yourself some good olive oil, not just some cheapy olive oil. Go ahead and get some good stuff, because it's always better for you. Alright guys, I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in this pan here. I had it on low, and I just now turned it up to medium. A little bit of oil going in here. Not a whole lot, just to be able to get it rolling around here. We're going to go ahead and throw the corn in. Make sure those clumps are all off there. We'll move around a little bit in there. Then I add a little bit of salt. Just a couple of good pinches there. Now we also add either a little bit of sweetness in it. We either add the monk fruit blend or stevia. Well, we kind of prefer the monk fruit. It tastes like sugar. It's just as sweet, but it's good for you. I mean, it's one of the best sugar substitutes out there. We're going to put a little bit of that in there. Just get yourself a spoonful of it in there. Maybe mix it around. Get some color going in there and roasting it. You don't want to burn them. Then you might have popcorn. Trick. We're getting a lot of this grease off of the meat when it's cooking. instead of putting it in a strainer and draining it and maybe running water over the meat, once this starts getting some grease going in here, we take a paper towel and a tongue and soak up a lot of the grease that's in there. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how I get rid of some of this grease that's in here. I usually just shove the ground beef to one side. And you want to get the grease and stuff out before you put your spices and lime juice and all that in there, because then you're just going to wash it right out. So this is what I do. Paper towel with the tongue. I'll tip the pan to one side. I'll just sit right in there and soak a lot of that grease out of there. We go to a meat market to get our ground beef, a lot of our meat that we do get, but it still has a lot of fat in it, and you know, that's, you don't want to eat that. So we try to get as much of this out of there as possible. I'm not going to get it all, but quite a bit of it. So now, I'm just going to bring this back over, turn it down a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and put my spices in there. Again, the spices were garlic powder, onion powder, mayo, pepper, ancho chili powder, salt, all kinds of good taco-y flavors, cumin, coriander. Get that in there, mix it about real quick here, and then we're going to put in some lime juice. We'll get that mixed in there real good. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and get the juice of some lime in here. This is one whole lime that I'm going to do. Pulp and all, if it goes in there, I want it all in there. And get that mixed around. Oh, this is smelling good too. I could eat it right out of the pan right here. Alright guys, the corn's done, and just to let you know that any kind of sweetener substitute, like we use the monk fruit, it isn't going to caramelize like regular sugar would. Of course, that's fine though. I mean, I'm not going to use regular sugar for anything really anymore. Go ahead and get that in your bowl so we can get all this put together here. So that, now we got the meat ready. And get that going in there. Sorry, my mouth just watered. That mixed around. We're going to add a few things, other things in here. And we like to use some salsa. You can make your own, but we like Frontera salsa, and these two are our favorites. It just gives it a little more extra flavor, and his stuff's good. Never been to his restaurant, but his salsas are pretty darn good, and this is what we use. And it's from Rick Bayless, so you can get these in just about any grocery store. And these two, like I said, are our favorites. There's another flavor that he does that we like. I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head because I don't have any right now. But we're going to throw some of that in there. A few scoops of it in there. And we'll get some of the tomatillo sauce in here. And we get those out of the way so I ain't knocking things around. Mix that in bit. Some cilantro over here. I'm going to go ahead and get that chopped up and put in there. A lot of people, they say they don't like cilantro because it tastes like soap, I guess. I don't know. I love cilantro. I don't think you can have any any kind of Mexican themed food without having cilantro. Or Asian. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in. Then we also got some green onions that we're going to chop up and get put in there, and we get all these furry ends off of here. I always like to flip around and get some of the nasties off the other end too. Some of the leaves aren't too good. These are looking pretty good so far. That one's not. Just pull off, I just call it, you know, where it feels a little slimy or whatever, go ahead and get rid of that. They all look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get these chopped up and thrown in. Finely chopped. Keep your fingers away from the blade. So I got my fingers there on the onions. That way your knife is running down along their knuckles, not your fingertips. Yes, I have done that in the past. Instead of filleting the onions, I try to fillet a finger. That's no fun. Now we're going to talk about some limes. When you go to the store and you want to get limes or lemons, and you're trying to find them, they're heavy for their size, and then you know they're full of juice. You also want to look for them that are kind of thin skinned. Sometimes when you see them, this one's probably got a little more rind in it. See how it looks like orange peel on there? Usually those got more rind on them. You want to see them when they're kind of smooth and shiny like that, and they're heavy for their size, like this one. It's actually kind of heavy for its little size. So that one should have a lot of juice in it. Now another way of getting juice out of it before you cut them, go ahead and just roll them back and forth on the countertop and push down and kind of squeeze them along there. See now, kind of squishy feeling. So you broke up a lot of that pulp where all the juice is. So now we're going to zest some of it. You can use this one. This one's called a channel zester. See how it's got this at the end here. I'll even show you how that one works. You just kind of put it on there and just carefully pull back, and see how it pulls that. It'll end up pulling that off, but we don't want great big pieces like that. We're going to use this one for microplane. This is just a rasp grater, and you see how they're all sticking up here on this side. So when you go that way, it's going to get your rind off there for zest. All right, guys, I went ahead and got the zest off there, and that's the results. That's how it looks when you're done with that rasp for microplane. Those things work great. So we're going to add some juice. So I am going to roll it again just to make sure. And then we'll go ahead and give it a cut. Juice it right into your bowl. And we're also going to add cheese to this, but you want to kind of wait till all this is cooled down a little bit. And before you add the cheese, you want to make sure your spices are right. because you don't want to be double dipping or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this up real quick. Get this all mixed around. I could throw those right on some taco shells right now. Smells really good. Yep. My mouth just watered again. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a taste here in a second. We always keep plastic spoons around for this because we don't double dip around here when we're making stuff, but we want to make sure that the spices are good. Oh yeah, that's good. All right. Sorry. Let me go ahead and get the cheese ready here. Wipe up some of that lime juice. Always use a box grater. To me, they're pretty sturdy. I've used it a long time. This is from KitchenAid. I've had this one for a long time. This is my preferred grater. We have another one I think is from Microplane. You always gotta watch your fingers because this thing will definitely, it'll get you. This is gonna get mixed in with that. The only thing is I get cheese pieces flying all over. That's okay. I'll snag those when I'm off camera. Alrighty. So now, guess we'll just get this thrown in there and get mixed around. Got a counter scraper here. I'm not really sure what else they call it. Works great for getting all this stuff off the counter when you're mixing. The cheese will help. Even with this still being a little warm, it's not so hot it's just going to melt like crazy. But it'll help hold everything together when you stuff them in the tomatoes. Okay guys, got the tomato here. Let's get them ready. I'm going to go ahead and core this. And get that popped up out of there. And then we're going to like star cut these, but we're not going to go all the way down. Now, if you don't have a core, you can still do it with a small knife. You know, I already did this one. You can just cut around the core to get that out of there. And then you still want to cut it down a little ways. Like I said, you don't want to go all the way down. Then you can still use your knife to get in there and get some of the seeds and veins out of there, because you don't want it all wet and mushy down in there. Get that out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dump that out. Now, you use a bigger spoon, then you're going to have a problem. You know, if it, for me, I don't mind if the meat and stuffing comes out a little bit. In fact, on my plate, I'm gonna probably put a little bit of the stuffing down first and then put the tomatoes on it and in it and all around it. Get this stuffed in here. This is the roasted pablano and serrano chili peppers. We're gonna add a little bit of chopped lettuce on them. We use a spring mix. And then we are going to add some of these radishes. them topped off, and there you go. I hope you guys try this. You know, like I said, you don't have to do the Mexican flavors. You can do whatever flavors you want. We just so happen to like the Mexican flavors, so that's what we went with. They look good, and I'm ready to scarf them down. All right, guys. Catch you next time around.